asked that question at the end. I don't think he's stoppable in that sort of form when he's fully fit. I always think in the previous 3 World Cups that he's played in, something hasn't been quite right. If there is... Okay, the obvious thing is that, well, Argentina aren't very good outside Lionel Messi. Yeah, that's one thing that's not quite right. But I think that he just lifts everybody around him. And as I say, there has been something wrong either with fitness or something wrong diplomatically in the camp over the last 3 World Cups with Argentina.
They had Maradona as their manager. That was wrong.
Case in point.
Yeah.
This year it doesn't seem that way, and Messi is as good as ever.
All right, 9-1 is his bet for the day, but we're going to get some better bets, I hope, now from Johnny Ward, who's on the line. Johnny, good morning to you. Not as flat as a pancake yesterday. Celebrations all round when Sam Crowe romped home.
Yes, indeed. Celebrations all round, and a lot of relief, really, I think, for Gordon Elliott as well as Michael O'Leary, and obviously those of us who'd backed him. He delivered, but he lost a shoe in running. And a lot of people at Cheltenham look like they lost more than a shoe yesterday. They're really getting into the spirit of it. But despite losing a shoe, he still romped home. And we can live another day. We can live another day, Ger. And hopefully Lorena will be similarly good today.
Are you as heavily on board with Lorena as you were with Sam Crowe?
I'm heavy. Very, very heavy. Now, I'm talking heavy, you know. I have them in doubles, trebles. My life depends on it, in effect. Well, not quite that, but it is important that she wins for my general well-being, and she should as well. She is the nap of the day, the lock of the day. Smooth Jimmy's lock of the day.
All right, new Jimmy's lock of the day is Lorena. About 6-4 on at the moment in the novices hurdle. That's the second last race of the day. You've also been talking about Maldini for a little while. So Maldini probably going to go off touching favouritism in the Kim Muir, the last race of the day.
Yeah, I'd be worried about the ground for him. You know, he's trained by Pat Kelly and owned by Philip Reynolds, who obviously had presenting Percy romp home yesterday. Gold Cup winner of next year, I should suspect. I think Maldini still has a strong chance. Patrick Mullen's riding him. He's been laid out for the race, but I would have grounds for concern, as it were, Ger.
Yeah, because it rained a lot overnight and he's not amazing on bottomless ground.
No, he's not. And I think they got 9 mils. You know, I was getting lots of texts from Ireland. Oh, it's bucketing down here, no rain at Cheltenham, but by the time I went to bed, it was raining heavy, and they got a lot of it. Now it's a new course today, which makes it a little bit fresher, but it's going to be more Irish ground than English today, which will suit some, not others, including Super Sunday in the big race.
All right. Well, let's keep going then. We'll start at the start again of the day. The novices chase, the JLT. Your tip here is Shattered Love at about 17-2.
Shattered Love, I'm sure a name that many can relate to in terms of her past and all that, but she is a powerful mare. She gets a mare's allowance, even though, you know, size-wise she's huge. She's just really, really filled into herself this season, and it's not a great race, to be honest. I expect her to go out in front, and a lot of people will be backing her each way for Gordon Elliott. Gordon's horse was just in great form. Felt the pressure a bit coming into day 2, but he had a treble yesterday, and I think she's a solid each way chance. I wouldn't go mad in her, but I expect her to run well.
All right, Glen Lowe in the next in the per temps, again about 8-1, so an each way shot here.
Yes, Glen Lowe has been laid out for the race by Gordon Elliott, owned by JP McManus, who loves these big handicap winners at Cheltenham. Very likely raced horse, should have a bit of improvement in him. I expect him to run a big race. That'll be a real slog, that race. Huge field, over 3 miles over hurdles, but it shouldn't bother Glen Lowe. He'll be used to it from Ireland, and has to run a big race.
The Ryanair, you've got an outsider here, Cloudy Dream at about 12-1.
Yeah, he's an outsider. Funnily enough, I mean, he might even be the second outsider in the race at this stage. Duvan, I presume, is going to be a non-runner. It's a bit frustrating. If you back Anthony in the race now and Duvan's taken out, which I presume he will be, you're going to be hit by a Rule 4. But Cloudy Dream, back this horse each way. I really do fancy him each way at around 10-12-1. Unda I'd just be worried about him getting home. Paul Townend's going to ride him today. Cloudy Dream just should be mentioned. Waiting patiently, this horse's stablemate was a leading fancy for this race, was pulled out. Cloudy Dream is something of an afterthought for Ruth Jefferson. Her dad, Malcolm, the trainer, died only in February. It would be a big emotional win if he could do it, but I think he'd run a huge race.
What's a Rule 4? Just explain that.
So basically, a Rule 4 is it's like you back 5. Say there are 5 horses in the race. One of them is pulled out. Your chance obviously improves now because you have one less to worry about. But as the bookmaker knows that your chance has improved, he will impose a deduction on any prospective winnings to reflect that. It's completely fair, but the problem is a lot of people are having bets this morning that don't realise that Duvan's in the race. In fact, I nearly made that mistake myself. So Duvan is 4-1. That's a 20-cent Rule 4. So that's 20% of your winnings gone if your selection wins are placed.
All right, and there's no chance Duvan's going to run, is there?
I mean, I presume not. I'd be gobsmacked if he ran. I mean, if it were a run-of-the-mill horse, maybe. And he didn't get actually that far yesterday. What did he jump, 5 or 6? And apparently he was great after the race. But God, I'd be amazed if they ran him again. You know, it's considering how long he was off, to run him twice in 24 hours would be something. I'd be amazed if he ran.
Okay, so the Sunbet Stayers Hurdle, then you're looking here at Sam Spinner, around about 4-1.
Huge chance this horse, trained by Jed O'Keefe, who would be a small trainer, and Joe Colliver never had a winner at the festival, may not even have had a winner at Cheltenham actually, but this horse, so likeable. You know, I've been on Super Sunday anti-post, I've given up on that given the ground now. Wasn't expecting it to be like this, but neither were connections of Sam Spinner, and they will be doing the rain dance. He's just a real dour stayer, stays longer than the mother-in-law, as they say, and if he does that today, he's a good chance. Okay,
and then the last one here is the Brown Advisory Plate, King Socks at 8-1.
King Socks, you're telepathic with my selections here this morning. I think we've never been on the same wavelength to this extent before.
I read them off the internet.
Yeah, I was actually talking last night about you read them off the internet. I was talking last night about The Crown, the great Netflix documentary, and how I really have grown to like the very tight wins or not, the really, really tight wins or not. And that, of course, brings in the King, because the King was a big fan of that in the series. And King Socks is being laid out for this race, 8-1. David Pipe won the race 3 times already in recent years, was second to Footpad over hurdles in France. And on that form, he's very, very well in here. We'll need a bit of luck, but if he gets it, I think he's a sound each way chance. Stable could be in better form, but definitely been laid out for the race.
All right, one last thing we got to talk about, that's Ruby Walsh. Let's hear from Katie first. After she won the bumper yesterday, she was asked about Ruby in the aftermath. Have a look.
It's been a tough day for your family. What does the success mean to you on this day?
Sure, I'm torn a bit, to be honest. You know, I'm a very emotional person anyway, but yeah, I really appreciate days like this. It's fantastic. But yeah, in the back of my mind, you know, I feel sorry for Ruby. But, you know, then once I rounded the corner behind the screens and he was up and he was talking to me, that's the main thing. So it's not as bad as it first seemed, I think, so he'll be back.
Have you spoken to him since he's been in the hospital?
No, I give him a ring now after. But yeah, you know, it could be an awful lot worse, I know. But yeah, my heart's torn a bit. But yeah, it's been a fantastic day for me.
Katie Walsh on Racing UK yesterday. We always forget this, you know. It's like, oh, Ruby broke his leg, and we talk about it because he's broken his legs, he's had his spleen taken out. We do forget that they're risking life and limb every time.
Absolutely, you really do. You just get on with the next race, or you have your next bet, or you go for a few points afterwards and you get on with your life, whereas Ruby now has broken his leg twice, the same leg, and it was mid-November, so whatever that is, 4 months. You know, he's 39 in April or May, and you just wonder. I mean, he was literally back 6 days when this happened, and you know, for Katie to come out with that emotion, it was the same as Keith Donoghue yesterday when he was crying after the Fox Hunt. You know, Cheltenham can get the better of you, but these weren't crocodile tears. Keith Donoghue was basically retired. He had to lose 8 pounds in the space of 24 hours to defy nature and ride in the race. And then Katie, you know, we've lost jockeys Jockeys have died who've fallen at the Cheltenham Festival, notably JT McNamara, and the emotion that she felt in winning on the bumper yesterday was real. Spoke to all her family afterwards, and you know, it was just the wild swing in emotions you experienced in this place. You have to be over here to actually believe it. But just that Ruby can get up and fight another day was far more important to Katie than riding another festival winner. But what a person she is. She actually bought and sold the horse in second as well, and kind of trained it in a point-to-point, sold it. And when she was coming up the straight, taking dead aim at this horse, she probably thought, geez, that's the horse I actually sold after he won his point-to-point. I better beat him. But, you know, if he wins, it's not the worst thing. It shows that I'm well able to buy and sell.
Yeah, no, what a family. Johnny, I hope you're not too tired and emotional tomorrow, and best of luck with the rest of the day. Thanks a million.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you in the morning.
Johnny Ward there giving us his thoughts. We'll be back at 12:30 with a Cheltenham special, bringing you the very latest market movers and trying to foment outrage. It's actually going to be during the Keith Andrews show today. Of course it is. Keith is in, and Alan Judge is going to be on that show today. James Downey on the rugby as well. That's all part of it. Well, it's going to be great. Tune in again at around about 12:30 today. We're going to be trying